Okay, so technically if you register a news business, you cannot register it again. But the question is, why should you register it again?
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief.
Okay, so technically here, what you're seeing here right now is that they're saying that when you want to get to be recognized as a new business, you need to register at this ACMR, and you need to prove that you're operating a new business or that you control a news business either by themselves or together with other corporation. So technically, if you're working together with the other corporation, both of you guys can register as news business. Yeah. If you're working alone and you operate a news business, then you can register. That's what they're saying. Yeah, I understand that. When registering a new business with the ACMR, an application corporation must list each news source that makes up for the news business. What? Okay. Okay, what do they mean by news source here? I understand that you need to list a news source, but what do they mean by that? Maybe they're going to explain it later. But what you can see here, you can find the bill, what it is. I showed you in another video how you can go through that, but technically this is schedule 1 item 52F. So you go here and you go look for 52F, but I'm not going to do that, because if I don't understand this, maybe later they will explain what it is. So if the ACMR consider that application, okay, so technically if they recognize you, then you will be registered as a new business. That's what they're saying here. Okay, but the ACMR can also endorse a business. Okay, that's not that important, but if you look at the question, which news business can participate if you register or you get an endorsement? Let's see. The general requirements. Okay, so they're saying the rules, the requirements of the code applies to every register news business. That's clear. Yeah, so they need to put it somewhere in the bill. A news business means a news source or combination. Here they explain what the news source. Okay, a news source include newspaper, masthead, magazine, a television program, or a channel, or radio. Okay, I see. So here they explain what the news source. So if you remember, I was asking myself, what do they mean by news source? Because it's a broad term, and you never know what it is. But here we know what it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Definition of news source also requires the news source to produce and publish a news content. Okay, so the requirements: you need to produce and publish news content online. News content is intended to take its original meaning on the... Okay, so technically you need to publish news content, one, and they have a definition for this. I think later we'll see what the definition is. So technically you have a business, it needs to have news sources. We saw here what the news sources are, and they need to produce news content. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, in order for news business to be registered, each news source in the news business must meet the following requirements. So the news source, again, so number 2, needs to meet the requirements. Yeah, the contents test. Okay, we're gonna look at this because I saw this somewhere in the title. Australia audience test and the professional standard test. Okay. Later in this document, they will explain it. This video in this title. For example, contest test, and then Australia audience test. So I understand why they are doing that, because technically when you write something down, especially a bill, you need to explain what you mean with words, because otherwise you will create miscommunication between the person who read the bill and the person who do something. So that's why they're going to explain it, and they're saying these things are requirements, 3 requirements. If you do not meet the requirements, each news source, news business must meet the requirements. So if you're a news business and you're registered, you need to meet these requirements. Yeah, I do not know what the consequences are. So if you see somewhere in a rule when they ask you need to meet the requirement, always ask yourself what are the consequences, or what is the consequence when you do not meet the requirement. So if you look at this, a news source cannot be registered twice. Okay, obvious. That is the news source set out in News Business Corporation application. Okay, so technically if you register a news business, you cannot register it again. But the question is, why should you register it again? Yeah, I understand the rule that you cannot register it twice, but why should you register it again? That's something I don't understand yet. I don't see why people should register it twice. Maybe you can get twice the benefits. I don't know. Okay, next one. The ACMA must publish the details of the register on its website, including register and news business corporation contact point of purpose of communication between the registered news business and the. Okay, I understand. So technically, if you apply and you get registered, you get a portfolio or profile on the website of the ACMA, and based on these rules, I understand this. A news business corporation is not required to nominate all of its news sources. It may select news sources that it wishes to nominate in any combination it chooses. Okay, so I understand this because it's your business. You decide which news source you're going to use or not. And here they're saying it again, technically. However, our negotiation, bargain, arbitration facilitated by the code applies only to the covered news content of those news sources. The code does not apply to other content produced or published by registered news business corporation. Okay, so the cover news content. So if you cover news content, then the code applied, not something else. So what they're saying is the code doesn't apply to everything, but it only apply to the cover news content. I have in my head image why they are doing this, but I'm not sure, because when you have news content and you publish it, then let's see, if you publish it, you cover something, then the code apply. And if you look at the goal of the code is to make sure that there's a bargaining between the news business and the digital platform. I understand. But if you talk about things that doesn't have to do with the digital platform, yeah, I see. I think I see it, yeah, but I'm not sure. So technically, I think they're saying that the code only applies for things that you covered, and that has to do with the digital platform. If it isn't, you don't have to worry about that. Technically, I think that's what they're saying here. I'm not sure, so I need to mark this just to be sure. If I read it next time, I know, okay, I need to watch out for this rule. So if you look at this, which news business can participate in the code? Yeah, you can register, you can apply for registration, you need to make sure that you meet the requirements. those requirements, you see it here, and you need to have some news source if you're a news business, and there are some situation where the news content apply. There's something that you need to know, and and here they say that you need to meet these requirements like the content test, the Australia audience test, and the professional standard tests in order to get recognized as a news business in Australia. Thing is, I do not see what the consequences are. I think when the consequence, if you don't meet the requirements, then you're not a news business in Australia, so you cannot get money.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be